What up? It's Casper. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the movie Morbius. Morbius is a 2022 film. It's rated PG-13 and it's an hour and 44 minutes. Directed by Daniel Espinosa. Don't know the story, don't know who's the enemy. Is he a superhero? Is he not? But just to find out that he is Spider-Man's enemy. That's just a side of this Marvel movie that I'm trying to figure out. It's a damn shame as well that I don't know anything about this Morbius character to actually back the claims of what I just saw, especially trying to get an understanding of this. We got Jared Leto playing Dr. Michael Morbius. Only movie that I've seen from Jared Leto is House of Gucci. It's a disappointment that he was in that movie, and it's a disappointment that I actually have to go back and watch it. So this is my second Jared Leto movie, and this is 0 for 2 with no sauce at all. This movie started off with just how the backstory of his character was. So seeing it from a childhood perspective, there was nothing that I understood. What are we watching? The only thing that I understood was he has an illness that's not allowing him to walk correctly. I think he has a friend or brother in here named Milo, and they have similar illness characteristics. But the beginning scene wasn't something that brought me in. That pacing of the beginning scene wasn't something that I'm like, okay, this is going to be an interesting character. Very confused watching the beginning scene. Look at bats, and I'm trying to figure out why he's so into them. The fact that I have not heard anything from Morbius, I'm trying to pick out small little things. I'm trying to think who else in this Marvel universe deals with bats. So the beginning scene was a little rough for me to just be like, this character is going to be something different, unique. Now we fast forward to the real character, adult version of that character, Jared Leto, aka Morbius, Dr. Morbius. Even trying to figure out that perspective, I was just more of like, what are we here for? Jared Leto, in the beginning, I was very disappointed. Didn't like how the script and the way he was projecting those lines were adding up. Throughout this movie, he actually had more of like a crackhead, needed drugs look, basically a fiend running on fumes. Thinking to myself, I'm like, could we put this dude in a crackhead type of drug person movie? But I think there is a movie that he's involved with that. I have to double check with that. Jared Leto in this movie, just a lot of cheesy moments, just a lot of moments where none of those things were executing at all. Him figuring out the more power he has when he actually finds a cure for his sickness, I didn't even see like anticipation. I didn't even feel a hype. I didn't even feel like I want to have these powers as well. Nothing that made me feel like this guy was cool. None of the emotions he was putting out felt like it was a real life emotion, even with the other actors as well. Just cheesy moments. There's a part in this movie where he's in that vampire state of mind now, and he's hunting a doctor in the hallway. It was one of the cheesiest moments I've saw. The camera direction for there was something that too much of everything, too much flickering the lights, too much obviousness, too much of that doctor actress not even showing being scared. The whole performance in this whole movie was stale. There's too many moments to count where I'm like, dang dude, I feel bad for this dude who had to be involved with this. Even him in the vampire look, I didn't even enjoy that part. I didn't even think that was cool. Too much on those slow motion scenes. I literally want to say heavy on the slow motion scenes. The action scenes confuse me sometimes because this dude eats blood and then he got blood coming out of him and he's affected by it. Like, it was very confusing on trying to get attached to this Dr. Michael Morbius character and then him when he becomes this vampire. It was just very awkward. I don't think his look fit this movie, and I don't think the script fit this whole storyline at all. The romance camera angles was one of those moments in this movie that I'm just like, I had enough. Couldn't deal with it anymore. I could see it from miles away that that's gonna happen. Maybe it could have done something at rated R, but then again, I'm like, they relied on too many slow motion moments and they relied on this storyline that was just bouncing around confusingly. Another moment in this movie that just literally got me very irritated watching it was the end. So cheesy, so corny. Visual effects was becoming a little too much. Computer generated stuff that we're seeing was becoming a little too much as well. Jared Leto, let's see how you're gonna bounce back from this performance, and let's see what he ends up getting involved with. Matt Smith plays the character Milo. Random character in my opinion, just random evil character out of nowhere, but Milo is another character where they try to enhance the action. Just terrible CGI, terrible computer work, terrible just overall look for this movie. It feels like a downgrade. Milo was another character where the look did not do anything for me. Didn't even give me evil vibes. Not a strong character for this style of movie. I feel like his style will be perfect for mafia classy look where he just stays quiet, or he's in a country western type of movie where he's just a background character. Moments between Milo and Morbius in those action scenes, I just couldn't believe that how dull it was. It's just like an obvious, like it would be there type of thing. None of it was I want to be that character. And it's sad that in a lot of Marvel movies, after watching the movies, you're like, oh, I want to buy the Iron Man mask, or I want to buy the Hulk this, the Hulk whatever. But nothing from this movie gave me, oh, I wanted to have those vibes from that character. Audra Orhana plays the character Martine Bancroft. She's like a scientist that helps Morbius figure out his defectiveness, his illness. Literally from miles away, you could see that she's gonna be the love side of this movie. I could only imagine how many takes they did with everybody in here, and I feel like with her character, they did like 75 takes, over dramatic, but taking 75 takes and finally getting one that was decent, and they just went with the decent take. A lot of her acting is pointing at the corniness, and that I think is because of the script, to be honest. The look for her was something that you could have in a very dramatic suspense movie. Very awkward how she handles seeing a lot of the things for the first time. You can tell that she's trying to put out a character vibe, and disappointing. Tyrese Gibson, hilarious in this movie, not because comedy lines, but he plays the character Agent Simon Strode. Very hilarious for me because of just how much you can tell he's trying to put out that vibe. I feel like the director and people behind the scenes knew who they had on set and were just hoping for magic. Tyrese Gibson, I was just hoping he would show magic in this movie and be the bright spot. The only bright spot is just seeing him in here. The lines didn't help him, his script didn't help him, the costume design for him didn't help him at all. I'm pretty sure hearing that you can be part of a Marvel movie, shoot, why not, right? But how sad to know after working on a movie like that and seeing that, how disappointing he felt. One of those movies where it's very bad but funny to look at. Also one of those movies where it's very bad and you can be very pissed off after the movie's done seeing that whole thing. The only thing that I did like was when they focused on Morbius' eyes and the eyes were moving as if it was like some crazy chemistry lab experiment thing. And that was the only thing I enjoyed from this movie. Music in here is a disappointing one as well. Nothing makes it a vibe. After my watching Morbius out of 10, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 1 out of 10. That's my movie review for the movie Morbius. Shout out to you guys for tuning into the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all.